Hello fellow gamers, this is Game Freak Forever, and I just wanted to talk about the week that I've been having. It's been a pretty interesting week because a lot of things have changed for me, and I'm so excited. First, I wanted to give a big thanks to everybody that's been subscribing to my channel, and then also to all the people that watched my last video, Game Freak's Pickup 2. It reached 100 hits in only a few days, and to me that was just mind-blowing because that's just letting me know the power of Twitter and the word of mouth and the internet in itself. And I'm just so thankful, and I just wanted to say thank you to all you guys. And then I wanted to give a shout out to a new brother that I found, a brother from down under, Nadzillo, or RichtheRookie. He actually has his own YouTube channel. I'm going to leave that down in the description. Also his Twitter account and everything, but he also has his own website. Through corresponding back and forth with him, we actually conducted an interview. I did my first gaming interview, which, man, I thought that was just mind-blowing. I never thought that I would be able to do something like that, but that dream has been fulfilled. I can check that off on my bucket list. And also my Game Freak pickup video, it made video of the week on his website. We actually did the interview way before we decided to post up the video and everything. We had just been talking back and forth, and so this thing is just happening at a rate that I didn't even expect. So I'm just excited, and I can't even explain how good it feels. Well, first of all, I just wanted to talk about, another thing I just wanted to talk about with my actual pickup this week. I want to dip back a little bit, kind of go back to the 80s a little bit here. I remember one Christmas I spent with my cousin, and we went to sleep, just like you always do, and then you wake up the next day, you're waiting on Christmas Day, and here it is. He opens up his Christmas gifts, and much to his surprise, he has a Nintendo, and I'm looking like, man, I don't even have one. And I know my love and appreciation and desire for video games are so much deeper than his, because he only played it on the surface because, much like people that got the Wii, a lot of the people were just first-time gamers, and they were just playing the game because it was something at the time. But for other people, it was something else. And for me, that's what it was. It was something else. I think he got his back in 86 or 87. I didn't get mine until about a year and a half or 2 years later. Finally had got my Nintendo. Man, I could not stop playing that darn thing. And what I would do is I would just go to the store for rentals, because at the time, the games were more expensive. So what I did was I would just go and rent out the games. I think it was only like maybe $2 or something like that. So I would rent them, beat them, bring them back, and just continue with the cycle. And until the rental store actually closed down. So I just kind of kept with that concept of doing things, and was so in love with the NES. A few games that I picked up when I was playing the NES was Mega Man 2, all the Marios. But I know I'm going to get an argument here, but my favorite game from the Nintendo series was Mega Man 2, because I thought it was so innovative to bring forth the concept of using enemies' powers against other enemies after you defeated them, and you basically had to merge all those powers together in order to be able to defeat Dr. Wily's robots. So he had 8 robots all set up and everything. So it was pretty cool. And then you had to do the big boss battle where you had to go through another round of things, and I just was like, man, this is crazy. So that game had a special place in my heart. Now, another game that does have a special place in my heart was Mario 3, because it was during the time the movie called The Wizard that came out. It was like a big deal, because this little kid, he had like gaming skills beyond imagination. I mean, he could play any game and master it within a few seconds. And he went to this big competition, and lo and behold, that was when they introduced Super Mario Bros. 3, and oh my God, it just blew everybody's minds away when we were at the movies, and when they started talking about it, it was like, oh yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3, it's gonna be the best thing. Now, during the course of the movie, he actually was using the Power Glove, and the Power Glove it actually had like a little directional thing on it, and it had little buttons on there and everything. So you could be able to use those things at that time. So it was pretty cool, but it didn't really catch on. Now the game Genie was a little bit different. It actually caught on, and it was something really nice. I'm trying to shoot my cat away. But anyway, it was pretty nice. You could actually take the game Genie and put it inside of your NES and then put your cartridge inside of the game Genie. What it did was it pretty much enhanced the experience. Kind of like a little cheat experience, but it also made everything more graphical. It added all these extra little features into it. You could put all these extra little special codes. You had your little book and everything. I saw it today, and I was thinking about getting it, but then I was like, I don't know. I might get it. But anywho, that's some of my background with the NES and why I just had to have it. But I also wanted to just talk about some of the games that I got this week. First game that I got was this game also started at the arcades as well, and then it transitioned into the home. It's a racer. It gives you the overhead shot, and this guy basically, I thought it was so cool because he could shoot bullets from his car. He could put out oil slicks to take other vehicles out, and the game is called Spy Hunter. It's a pretty good game. I really had fun with this one, man. It's one of those games that you will want to continue to play again and again and again and again. Now, here's another game that was near and dear to me, Dribble. I thought, man, this is a pretty crazy game. It was like one of the first sports games that they kind of incorporated gameplay with 2 players and then being able to put in the first cutscenes. It was like a big deal to have a cutscene in there. So I thought, me and my friends used to joke all the time. We would say, man, they must have spent all their money on the cutscene because that's where it was all at. Because when the guy would reach up to dunk the ball, that's what you would see. You would see him. You would see a different person. So yeah, the game is Dribble. I mean, it's a really good game. If you have an NES, I would definitely suggest you picking that up. Then with my console, I got Arkanoid, which is kind of like Tetris a little bit, where you're breaking up pieces and stuff like that, but you're doing like a balance beam of keeping this ball up and taking out other pieces. If you notice, when you look close, you can actually see that. Pretty cool. And then a game that came with my Nintendo was the Basis Loaded, which I thought was pretty cool. And then my controllers, the NES. And then I also got the NES Advantage. Kind of reminds me of the Street Fighter thing with the big buttons. You got the select and start, you got your turbo, select, start. You can slow down the concept. And then my hookup is the AV, the yellow hookup that I got over there. I think it's, I'm trying to remember where it's going. Oh yeah, and I've never gotten a chance to show you guys what my wife got me. She got me about a year ago. It was a gaming chair, which is pretty cool because you can put all your games, your hookups, your controllers. See, I got my little NES controller here. I got my Super Nintendo controllers. And then I got a bag full of all my hookups for, you know, just in case one goes bad, damaged or something like that. I'll show you this real quick. My Skyrim guide. Damn thing looks like a Bible or something. It's so darn thick. But look at it. Yeah, that's my gaming chair. And then kind of move on to my backstory of my other one. I told you guys I got a Super Nintendo, but I never showed you, and a lot of people were asking about it. So I was like, well, let me make sure I showcase my Super NES right along with my NES. And anywho, and you'll probably when you go and see the interview and read some of the questions and stuff like that, you kind of get a backdrop or backstory of that. Was that, you know, when I was young, I didn't really get much. You know, we really didn't have much back then, and so for me to get something was a a big deal, and I was the type of person I would appreciate anything and everything that would be coming my way. So I remember the Christmas of '92 probably was one of my favorite Christmases of all time. I got a Nintendo. I went down there and woke up that Christmas morning and finally found it down in big box, and man, I played Super Mario World up until Christmas Eve. Man, I finally beat it, went back and was going in and looking for secrets and talking with friends, and we were going back and forth trying to figure out what's the next thing that we can find. You know, I was like, man, there's 2 or 3 ways to beat a stage. You got to go back this way. You got to go back that way. And so I finally was able to score my own Super Nintendo and didn't realize how light this thing was. I'm like, dang, this thing only weighs maybe a pound, 2 pounds, if that. But if you can see, it's actually in really good condition. And like I was telling you guys before, I got the 3 controllers with it. Nice little hookup. Got me the nice little, especially when you're trying to use a high def TV. Pretty good and everything. And then I forgot to tell you guys, he also gave me a case for my Super NES games, which I thought was pretty cool. So you got my games in here. It holds about 18 games. Got the nice little Super Nintendo logo right there. So I thought that was cool. And man, I probably had like F-Zero and what else did I have? I had F-Zero, Superman, or Super Mario World, Final Fight, like the game that I got last week. That's why I had to go back and get it, because it took me back to that place again. And that's what happens when you're into gaming and you were into the retro scene, you know, and then you're coming up and you just remember what it felt like to have those games. So yeah, those have been my pickups for this week, man. I just say that I'm just grateful for this channel. I'm grateful for everybody that's continuing to reach out and give me comments. Continue to let me know what I need to do better. How can I make this better? How can I change up some stuff or whatever? Please continue to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button at the top. And like I said, all the links and everything I kind of pretty much talked about today is going to be down in the description below. And just continue to remember to be game free. I got that. So let me go ahead and test it out. Make sure it works. We'll go through this first level here. There it is. Secret little extra man. Gotcha. Fire power. And these lights to make it out. There goes the stars. $5,000 people out there. I forgot to show you my Nintendo. I was like, you know what? I'm reviewing the tape, going back over everything. Man, people don't understand how much it takes to shoot a video. It's not one of those things where you just go one time, boom. I've been through a lot of cut, rewind, got to do it again. Didn't like that, or I'm my own harshest critic, so there's probably still some stuff in there that I'm going to look back at and go, oh man, I should have changed that, or oh man, I didn't like that. But anyway, let me showcase my Nintendo. This is the actual front, and this is the sides, in the back, and the actual Nintendo. Now, one of the friends of mine asked me, man, how in the world did you manage to put 2 games in there? I said, man, you just stacked them bad boys on top of each other. So I just wanted to show you guys that. To show you that it is possible. Because some of the games back in the day, they wouldn't actually hold up on their own. So you would have to go ahead and slide in another game, and it would keep it in place. Then you wouldn't have to worry about it, because as you can hear that clicking noise, sometimes it wouldn't stay in there. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase my Nintendo, because I definitely I'm proud of that. And let me just show you again. And continue to be game freaks.